Well, hello everyone. It is Jacqui Bowman here, and I just full transparency, I just went on for like 3 minutes and I wasn't even live. Awesome. I am Jacqui Bowman Coach, and I am live here in person, experimenting and doing something that I've never done before. I've never hosted a StreamYard, and I've never gone live on all three platforms all at the same time. And so I'm experimenting with this because I have some interviews coming up and I want to make sure I'm prepared. But today's subject that we're going to talk about was, getting frustrated because you're not doing the activities that maybe you've committed to for your goals. Maybe you're not getting the results that you want, and you're not sure if it's because you're not doing the activities, or if you're not sure if those activities are the right activities. But today we're going to talk a little bit about that and how we can check our mindset and get into a successful flow to where we are meeting our objectives and our goals, or at least meeting the activities that we've committed to, right? So what I want to start with first is, I actually did a coaching call this week with someone, and we talked about the concept of what we should be doing, what everybody else is telling us we should do, versus what we can actually do, or what we could do based on who we are, right? So we talked about that a little bit, and we're going to talk about that during this broadcast as well. But the very first thing I do with my clients is I say, what is your goal and what is your vision, right? So let's look at that. This is what I have visualized as my goal, and these are the steps that I need to get there. Well, a lot of times the steps that we write, or the actions that we write, we are looking for someone else to give us the answer to what those are, right? And so a lot of times those aren't in our heart as the way we would do them to get to that goal. So I talk a lot about the things that we should be doing and the things that we could be doing, right? And so a lot of times we take a lot of training, take a lot of classes, we get a lot of opinions from other people, and we're looking for that golden nugget that's going to just absolutely blow up our business. And if that actually existed, we would all know what it is, and we'd all be meeting all of our goals. The key here that I find is you actually looking within yourself and trusting yourself to figure out what is going to be best for you to actually commit to and follow through with. The fact of the matter is, if you do anything long enough, it will work. If you do anything long enough, it will work, because doing exactly what I'm doing right now, I'm experimenting with StreamYard, and if I do it long enough, it will work, because each time I do it, I will get better and better and better. So it's not about what can I find, what shiny squirrel can I find that's going to work. It's more about what can I strategically plan out, have a vision for, set goals for, and make sure that the activities that I'm choosing are ones that are a reflection of me, that I can say to myself, I would be excited every day to get up and do these activities to go generate business, right? And so if you're finding yourself struggling with, this isn't who I am, but these are the activities I have to do in order to achieve this goal, how can we get you in a place to where you're doing activities that are who you are? Or can I be that person today in order to achieve my goals, right? And so this is getting more specific into those growth activities. So I'm going to introduce you to a really quick brainstorm. And I'm just going to give the example because I coach a lot of real estate agents, but this could be whatever you want it to be. So here's an example. I will have 5 listings signed by March 31st, right? So I just want to have 5 listings signed. I'm going to list 5 properties between now, February 17th, and March 31st. So I'm going to write that at the top of my paper, and then I'm going to set a timer. And I'm going to set the timer for 8 minutes, just 8 minutes, set the timer. It's going to start counting down. And what you're going to do is you're going to do a brainstorm of all of the activities that you, Melissa or Michael or whoever you are, what are the activities I could do to get those 5 listings, Now, you've been to plenty trainings, you've been to plenty of classes. You could buy the leads, you could door knock your neighborhood. There's all sorts of things that you could do, right? So what I want you to do is brainstorm all of the things that you could do. And then after that brainstorm, go in there and circle the things that you would enjoy doing. That if you did them at, like Grant Cardone would say, at a 10x, it would work. Like if you do anything long enough, it will work. So what I like is that it's a brainstorm. It's not a brain commitment, right? And a lot of us are so afraid to put crazy ideas on paper because, let's face it, if I write it down, I might be committed. But the fact of the matter is this is a brainstorm, kind of like you did in 3rd grade when you were going to write a paper. You would brainstorm all of the different things that you could write about, and then you narrowed it down to what you were going to actually write about. And so I want you to do that same exercise when it comes to your business or whatever goal that is. It could be weight loss. I will weigh X amount of pounds by March 31st. Here are all the different ways that I could do that. And then I'm going to go through and I'm going to evaluate and choose the ones that I think I will most be in alignment with, I could be in flow with, and I'm exchanging great energy with. Because this is all about energy. It's all about your energy towards your activities and your goals. So that's one of my favorite brainstorms to do. And I would encourage you to do that first. Then we can talk about the time blocking and we can talk about the activities. So once you've gotten the activities that are in alignment with who you are, now let's face it, you are going to have to probably do some uncomfortable things. If you have an immediate goal that is pretty far stretched, you're going to probably have to step outside your comfort zone and do something that's not normally you in order to meet that deadline, right? But when it comes to growing a long-term real estate business, or some of you are doing agent attraction, right? When it comes to these other types of goals, making sure that you're choosing activities that if you do them long enough and you enjoy them and you strengthen your skill set, the more rewards you're going to get from them, right? So after you've chosen your activities, something that I do is I write down what those activities are, and then I do actually make a commitment of some sort, right? So whether you're committing to doing 8 things a week, like 8 birthday cards a week, or you're going to do 2 phone calls a day, whatever that is, write down what those activities are. Now, here's the catch. Make sure that the activity is something that you know that you could do and you know that you're committed to doing, not something someone else told you you should be doing, right? Making sure that this is in alignment with who you are, right? Because that's a big key, is just being in alignment with that energy of this is what I'm committing to do, because I know if I do these things, I'm going to enjoy my life, I'm going to enjoy my business, and I'm going to meet my goals, right? So setting those activities. So in the past, what we've been taught is to do this time blocking, right? From 8:30 to 9:30, I do this. From 9:30 to 10, I do this. From 10 to 10:15, I check email. From 10:15 to I personally have never had that work for me, right? Because something else will come in and hijack what I was doing. And I have severe ADD, right? So I'm going to be all over the place. So one of the things that I did is I was very serious about my goal and very serious about my commitments, right? So writing out that vision and that goal and that being crystal clear of what that is, and then also writing out your activities, right? I don't necessarily say my result has to be this, right? But it's more about that goal and being crystal clear on that, and then what the activities are. And so then what I do is I give myself permission, and I'm a little bit flexible with myself. It doesn't matter what time I do things. It's more about getting them done, right? And fulfilling that commitment to yourself. I know a lot of agents, like right now, especially between January and February, especially in Northeast Ohio, it's so hard sometimes to meet our goals because everyone's waiting to list till March or April, right? Or whatever. The only thing that we can count on is our activity, right? We don't have a whole lot of control over when they list, but what we can do is we can align ourselves with activities that ensure that when that client is ready to list, that I'm their agent and I'm there and we're ready, right? So what I do for my activities is each day And if you want a copy of this, by all means, just message me through social media. I'd love to give it to you. But what it is it's a little tracker. And what I do is I track my health track and I track my mindset track. And basically these two tracks right here, I make sure that I do each one of those things before 11 a.m. So I don't take appointments before 11 a.m. I go ahead and make sure that at some point in the morning, I get those activities done. And I make sure that I take care of my mindset track. I take care of my spiritual. I take care of my health, right? And I check those things off as I do them. I may do my devotional one day at 8:30, and the next day I might do it at 10:30. That part is not consistent. What is consistent is that I actually am doing the activities. And so that's where we get into this both and. It's like, well, I have all of these action items. I can both be very successful and flexible, right? Give yourself permission to be flexible in that. So the other thing I do is I make sure that, whether it's getting my teeth cleaned at the dentist or whatever it is, I make sure that those appointments are in the afternoon because I don't want those things to interfere with my morning routine. Now I call it a morning routine. And of course we've met all of the people that have read the Miracle Morning and they're the 5 a.m. club. Just so you all know, that is not me. What I do is I make sure that I'm very clear on my goals. I'm very clear on my activities, and I'm very clear that they get done before 11 a.m. Right? So, thanks guys. I see your comments now. So I'll have to learn how to teach people how to accept StreamYard to come in. So thanks, Aaron. Thanks, Tom. But yes, absolutely. Just looking at things a little bit differently and figuring out what those activities can be. So the both and statements are huge for me. I can be both a great mom and a very successful businesswoman, right? I can be both. I'm trying to think of something else I write in my affirmations. I can have both a vision of this and still have personal time or personal life, right? And so it's that whole balancing act to where all of those reasons that you put in your mind that you can't do something or you have obstacles in your way, how can you flip that? Like, because I've heard a lot of people say, oh, well, I have kids, I have a full-time job, I have this going on, I have that going on. My mom is sick, my dad lives with me, I broke my foot, like whatever it is, right? I can be a mother of 3 with a full-time job and still grow a real estate business. And this is how I could do it. These are some of the things that I have to do to modify my environment, right? I just love the both and. There's this space in there that gives you the opportunity to create something that maybe no one else has created before, right? And so I can be both flexible in my schedule and very committed to my activities. That is what I really wanted to focus on with you all today. And just, hey, Jeremy, and just kind of give you that space and give you that permission for yourself to write your own story. You've heard it before. Write your own story. You've got the pen. How is it that you're going to be successful in real estate? How is it that I'm going to be successful as a coach? How am I going to be successful as an agent attractor? How am I going to be successful as a real estate agent? The way I do it is going to be completely different than the way Aaron does it, the way Tom does it, the way Jeremy does it. And so I think the really successful people out there find what's going to work for them. And I love that experimenting with all different things is so important. Like this StreamYard, I might experiment with it. If I'm feeling it, great. If I'm not, I might go to a different platform, right? But if I do this long enough, it will work. And something will work in order for me to get my message out. So I just wanted to leave that with you all today. I know we're pushing on 15 minutes, but what I would challenge you to do, and maybe share with me privately or share below, is what both and statements do you need to create for yourself? I am both a new real estate agent and I'm still the best choice for my family and friends. That is a great both and statement, right? I am both a full-time employee of X company and I still have a very successful real estate business, right? That's a both and statement. So just trying to figure out what the both and statements are for you. And then not feeling guilty for all of those things that everyone else is telling you should do. I want you to release those things, do a brainstorm and figure out what is in alignment with who you are, because those are things that you can commit to. And I think keeping that word and keeping that promise to yourself and being a promise keeper to yourself is so much more important, because let's face it, none of us have the time or energy space for the guilt of not doing what someone else told us was our objective. So go find your own objective. If you liked this video and you're on YouTube, click subscribe. You're going to see more of those. Like on Facebook. If you loved it, send me a direct message. I would love to see your both and statements. And if you'd like a sample of my little checklist that I do every day, I'd be happy to give that to you. It's a very flexible thing for yourself, but it has your commitments right there that you need to do. So thanks everyone. And I hope you have a great rest of your afternoon. I'm going to see if I can end this broadcast.